people what you do in sales audit?
I audit all of your sales receipts, all of your packets. I make sure all of the credit card slips are there, all the vouchers are there. Try to make sure the numbers match and balance.
So you're kind of doing the audit process on the stores.
Yes.
These are the store managers.
Yes.
How many mistakes are they making?
I'd rather not say no.
So do you like your job?
I do a lot.
And why do you like your job?
I like my job because when I come here, everybody's very compassionate towards me, very kind, been very patient with my learning process.
Your learning process. What's your learning process?
I have been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome and with dyspraxia, which is a learning disability that affects coordination, physical coordination, and also mental organization. So it's difficult for me to put things in orders and sequences. So if, for example, I have to cook a recipe, it's more difficult for me than for the average person to determine, well, first I have to put the water in, then I have to cut, and then I have to do step 3.
You should come cook with me. You'd be a superstar. And tell us about Asperger's. What is Asperger's?
Asperger's is a high-functioning form of autism. And with Asperger's, you spend a lot of time lost in kind of your own thoughts and your own mind. So it's like an extreme case of introversion, where you're so focused on your own thoughts, sometimes you're not really aware of other people or your environment.
And when were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed at age 29, which was in 2009.
So you go through most of your life with
Without
Asperger's
knowing.
and dyspraxia without knowing.
Yes.
What was it like in school?
It was very bad in school because I was bullied a lot by the other students. I didn't do well academically. Everybody's been very patient with my learning, and it takes me a while to learn the sequences for auditing the packets. So I've been very
So because of
surprised.
the Asperger's, there's a sequencing thing that you have to focus on
Yes,
it.
it's difficult for me to put things in order.
Do you like your other job?
No.
So this is the first job you like.
Yes.
And is this the first time you've had friends at your workplace?
Yes.
Maybe one of the few times you've had friends at all?
Yes.
So you're holding a book. Tell us about the book.
This was my book. This was my first children's book, and I self-published this a few years ago.
So you wrote the book?
I did, and I hired
What's the
someone
name
to
of the
do
book?
the illustrations. It's titled A Letter to My Child,
It's called A Letter to My Child.
and my pen name is Lucy Christie.
Now, who is it dedicated to inside the book?
It is dedicated to my child, who I love with all my heart. And
So you write the book.
I don't actually have a child, but I wrote the book. This was actually started out as part of a therapy exercise. I wrote a letter to myself as a child, writing what I would have liked to have heard when I was young and lonely and growing up in this situation that I had.
You're the child in the book.
Yes,
And then this is the letter you wish your parents had written.
yes, correct.
So read the first page to us.
It says, I want you to know how much I love you, and even though I may have to leave you sometimes, I want you to know that I always will.
Read the next page.
Everywhere I go, I take a little piece of your love with me, whether it's to the top of the highest mountain, to the hottest desert, or to the most faraway shore. Wherever I go, no matter how nearby or how far away, I will never feel alone because a little piece of you will always be there.
So you're pretty high functioning.
Yes.
You met some of our employees with disabilities who are lower functioning. What's your take on who is a person with Down syndrome who's lower functioning?
They have an acceptance of people that is just amazing. It's like they don't have any ability in their mind to have discrimination. They just, you just meet them for the first time and it's like they love you. And they just want to be your friend so bad. And I think that's something that people with Down syndrome contribute to the world, is seeing the world through that view of just being very accepting and unconditionally loving of other people.
So what do you want to tell this group about, what should they know about disabilities, or how should they treat people with disabilities?
They should know that we need the same things as everybody else. We need love, we need independence. Our independence is the most important thing to us. So the ability to have a job, to work, to be employed is an amazing ability for anyone with a disability.
Well, tremendous job on the presentation. Thank you so much for sharing all that. Big round of applause.